What's up, YouTube?
Good morning.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff that I think about, I got all these ideas in my head all the time about certain things, and I always have business ideas, always. I think I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, and all these ideas pop in my head, and I'm always like, I never have the money to do it, but I'm like, all right, if YouTube did really well, what are some things I'd like to invest in, or, you know, side gigs, stuff like that. And I think just right off the top of my head, this is something we talked about a long time ago and still want to do eventually, probably at some point. Clothing line. I always thought it'd be cool to have something, you know, like basically really truly brand yourself. And when we were at the ranch, that's when we really started talking about it, and you came up, you know, it'd be cool, like the ranchito, or, you know, and it was basically, you know, our ranch, you know, we're kind of get stuff from there and sell and get, you know, different themes on t-shirts and stuff that kind of match, you know. But it's like something that I've always wanted to do, and I've known a few friends that started a clothing line, and I thought that would be something really cool to do. I don't know, just something a little different. Actually, a lot of people kind of do it, but to me, I don't know, it just, I think it'd be really cool to have your own brand, you know. Already sell shirts, you know, this one I'm wearing, Sawyer Ridge Farm. It'd be cool if, like, Sawyer Ridge Farm, if that was like a brand, you know, if Crockers was like a brand. I don't know, I just always thought that'd be cool.
I've always thought that would be really awesome too. Like Jason said, like, we talked about it a lot. And I mean, you never know what is going to happen in the future, and I think that would be a pretty cool business venture for you to invest in if you ever got the opportunity.
Yeah, and then I would try to do, I mean, I know it's already been done, like Demolition Ranch or whatever, but I'd like to sponsor, you know, help other channels, because we couldn't do it, you know. There was no way that we were able to do anything like that. So if I can get to that point, I'd like to help other channels and stuff like that, and, you know, kind of on that side of things. But then there's also like the video side, the graphic side of things. Like, I would really love to do to help small YouTube channels and bands. That's something that I'll probably never want to completely get rid of out of my life, is working with musicians. But I want to work with musicians that actually want to put the best foot forward. You know,
that really give it their all.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, I've always worked for bands, but I've never really felt like I worked with a band that like had as much passion as I did. So every time I came with these big ideas, they'd be like, yeah, nah, let's do this. And I'm like, man, I really want to like go full blown, you know, do all this stuff. So to me,
or some artists were that passionate, they just didn't have the budget.
Yeah, and so I would like to be able to have the budget to have like a, you know, maybe rent out like a warehouse type thing, to where you could do big video shoots and stuff, and help smaller channels. Music's a huge part of both our lives, and I don't know, it's kind of like when you watch sports, you watch college sports more than, you know, professional, because they try harder. And it's kind of the same thing with, you know, musicians. The younger up and coming bands, they try really hard. Once you make it, they kind of just like, they're like, we'll sell these albums. It's just kind of the reality of it.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, if I had the opportunity to like branch out and do other things, one thing that I've always wanted to do for a really long time, that I know that I can do right now, it would be very time consuming, I guess, and not the easiest task, would be to write a book. I really want to write a book. I've wanted to write a book since I was in middle school. I've always been passionate about literature and just reading, and I used to read all the time. I used to have a massive book collection, and I still read books here and there, but I don't keep
I love to build and create, and I like building houses. It's fun. That is not my passion. I like to create weird, like, things, creations. I don't know. I've always wanted to take things apart, rebuild them, put them back together as something different, and I guess being an inventor. I don't want to build your everyday normal thing. Like, I want to try to take a motor and hook it to something, make it, motorized, like a secret compartment that like comes out on a motor. I don't know, weird stuff like that.
I would love to do, like, to flip houses and stuff. That'd be really cool.
Ugh, not me. I've already done enough houses.
I think that'd be really cool. That'd be something that I would want to invest in if I had the money.
If I didn't have to do all the work, if I can hire crews to help, I think it'd be awesome.
Well, this is all hypothetical.
I know.
If you could.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be the chip and just be the funny guy.
What's his helper's name? It's not Chewy. It's like something like that.
But yeah, I'd like to build stuff, and I've always wanted to restore an old car. Really and truly, like an old Jeep. I want to do an old 1940s, World War II Jeep. So to be able to open up something like that would be super cool, or invest in like a shop that, because I don't have the know-how as far as motor goes, but I would love to do, the body work and, all that stuff, like to be able to do something of that nature, not just like an auto body shop or anything, but something that is just specific on old vintage vehicles, mainly, trucks and Jeeps and stuff. I think that'd be awesome.
If I had my own property and money wasn't a factor, like if I could afford it and stuff, one of my dreams would be to have like a whole building that, say I got a big shed and I converted it to where it was comfortable, and I would want to have like a cat sanctuary to where I take in cats or kittens and adopt them out. I think that'd be really cool, especially like special needs cats or like kittens that need homes. Like, I can foster them and adopt them out, find them good homes. Like, I think that'd be a dream come true for me.
So we kind of did. My dream was always to have a old folks home for dogs, a retirement home for dogs. And we kind of did that. We adopted a bunch of dogs. At one point we had like 10. We were not associated with any rescue groups, nothing like that. We did it all ourselves. I was very lucky to know somebody that worked at a dog supply store, I guess you can call it without saying a certain name. But we were getting dog food like crazy. Literally, she'd send me a message and be like, all right, come pick it up. Here's all the food that they're going to throw away. We'd fill up the back of the truck with hundreds and hundreds of pounds of dog food. And that was a super awesome thing that, we had to do for these dogs, but not all of them were old. I've always had a real soft spot for old dogs. And I thought that'd be something cool. It's not really an investment as far as you're not going to make money, but it's an investment just for like the animals, lives or whatever. But to be able to have, acres that they kind of run around, live out their, lives, and then you kind of have a little place that you can bury them, because, unfortunately that's what's going to happen. But that way they can just live out their, dreams. And this morning woke up and kind of just sitting there, and the dog started howling. I don't know why, but they started howling. And for me, that makes me so happy, because like that's they're in their zone. That's their natural state, is to howl. And they're happy. They're just out there being wild dogs, if you want to call it that, just howling for no reason, or in my mind for no reason. I'm sure they're doing it for a reason. But to have something like that, like a retirement home for old dogs, that's something I would like to invest my time and money in. There won't be any income coming back, but to be able to afford that and feed all the dogs and stuff, oh man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we actually, one of my cats, Phoebe, she is not blind in one eye, but for the most part she is. And one of construction, and he was like, would you be interested in taking it? And so I think at the time Jason was working from home and I was working back in the office, and I came home and he had this teeny tiny little kitten.
Tiny.
And I think she was less than a week old. Her eyes weren't open, her ears weren't open or anything, and when she did open her eyes, one of them was kind of glazed over. And
it was like the eyelid, the inside. I think they have multiple eyelids. I think it's like dogs too. One of them was still closed, so it's like a film over it.
So she's still like that today. If she's been to the vet, they kind of ask like if something happened or was she born that way. And whenever I say she was born like that, they just say okay, it doesn't bother her. She's just extra special. But we wound up rescuing her, and we bottle fed her for 9 weeks, and they're only supposed to, I think, bottle feed for like 6 or 7 weeks. And it took her 9 weeks, and she was not wanting to wean off the bottle. And we wound up rescuing 3 of her siblings. And once they came into the picture, they were eating normal cat food. Then she started eating normal cat food. They kind of helped her out in that way. And then we wound up adopting out the other 3 cats and keeping BB. And that was a really cool thing. It's like I still get to keep up with the other cats that we adopted out and stuff. It's to people that I knew, and so I feel like that was such a good experience for me, and like that's something I would love to do for the rest of my life. But squirrel.
Almost took out a squirrel.
But that would be something like you have to have the resources for that, because it takes a lot of time and money to foster and rescue
medical
animals.
bills.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that would be cool. I'm a people person, but I don't have enough good skills for it. A restaurant. I would like to own a restaurant.
I've always wanted to own a bar.
But nah, I ain't trying to deal with that.
But like a bar or restaurant, not just like a straight bar.
Yeah, I don't want bar rats. Can't deal with that. Drunks every day. But a restaurant.
High-end one.
And I don't know what type of restaurant, to be completely honest. It would really depend on where it's at. I love just like small mom and pop restaurants, but I think that's kind of why I like Harvest House so much. The waitresses and stuff are super nice. We've gotten to know them pretty well. I don't know their names, but we go there so much that they know our order, everything as soon as we sit down, stuff like that. The food is awesome. Absolutely love it. The atmosphere is cool. It's kind of like a cafe. It's got the local football stuff on there and pictures and Coca-Cola stuff. I don't know, it's cool. But I don't have the skills to cook all sorts of different things.
Well, that's why you get a cook.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I think I have the personality. I would love to. It'd be one of those that you have your regulars every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like YouTube. You get used to communicating with them. And I always thought the coolest thing, Texas, you go to Whataburger in the morning, and there's always that group of old people. Always. They go there every day. And I think that'd be super cool to have and to hear their stories. And then, it would definitely be one of those that's, first responders, military. You get your food for free type thing. It'd be one of those where it's like, I know I'm taking a cut out of paychecks, I guess mine. I would do it. I literally wouldn't be doing it for a profit. I'd be doing whatever my profit would be going back into it to help people. But to have that cool, awesome restaurant that everybody knows, and you can just go there, it's a good atmosphere, it's clean and safe, it's good food, but you feel like family, I guess. That's kind of how I feel at the Harvest House that we go to all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like restaurants, if they're run right, can be like that, and it can be like a community. People are going to come back if they like the experience, and I feel like you definitely have the personality for that. Jason would be like the owner that walks around and talks to everybody, and you're like, come on man, I'm just trying to eat.
I just sit down and eat with them.
No, that would be really cool, or even a coffee shop or something.
Yeah.
And then you could do your Coffee with the Crockers live with an audience.
That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. Something like that. I'm definitely. It's funny. I say I'm a people person, but I hate people. I like good people. Other people annoy me. a lot, but it'd be one of those restaurants that, you know, honestly, the customer isn't always right. You wouldn't be allowed to disrespect anybody, and I think that needs to like kind of come back into the world. And so I don't know, I think something like that would be kind of cool. What else? If money wasn't really an issue here, an Airbnb thing would be cool.
Yeah.
It would allow me to build cool things. I've already thought about this on a real side of things. If I decide, you know, I want to leave the property that I'm at and get more acres, which is something I do want to do at some point when I can afford it and find the right place. I want multiple buildings, and I've said this from the beginning. I want the tiny house. I want to build like a shed to house. I want to build like little camp areas, little shacks that you can stay in, bunch of little things. But, and we kind of talked about this not long ago, you need somebody that can run it and make sure everything's good and clean and stuff like that. I know a few people, but I'd like to do something of that nature to where I'm not really doing it for the money. I'm just doing it for the experience, for the people to be able to go out there and do stuff. But whoever's running it, that, you know, we leave in charge, gets to live there for free, gets to make the money to like survive off of, you know, but it's not their expense. It kind of just helps them live a more comfortable life, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool and interesting, and you're helping people out. And...
yeah. And then the same thing, if, you know, I would like to stay there and then you meet people. Like, that was one of my favorite things, like, you know, going camping and stuff. You always met people, like, random, you know, I forgot where we were at, North Carolina, the river.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we were just there, and then this couple just started kind of talking to us and stuff, and we kind of talked to them for a little bit, a little longer than expected. And, you know, you just get to meet people, you know, and then, I don't know, stuff like that. I guess kind of Airbnb campground would kind of be a thing. At the Frio River in Texas, it was always, I think, everybody's dream to own a campground at the Frio River. And, you know, everyone would go and be like, man, I wish I could own like a piece of property and have a campground and, you know, do all that.
Whenever you move, turn your land that you have now into a campground for the people that go float the river.
Pretty much. And yeah, I don't know, I think something like that would be pretty cool. I'm trying to think what else.
I had something in mind. Oh, I would love to do like some kind of art studio, but like make it to where like you could go and you could do art things, but like in a fun, creative way. Almost not like painting with a twist, something that is a little more like selective, to where like you could do pottery or painting or abstract like arts and crafts and stuff. I think that would be really cool. Make it to be like a, you know, you could have certain times where like elder or seniors can go at a certain time, and then if they didn't want to go when all the young people were there, but like have like parent night or you family night, like different things like that. Or I don't know, I think it'd be really cool to do some type of art studio. I've always been into art. I took it all throughout school, and I considered at one point going to college for arts, but I didn't go to college.
If money wasn't an issue, say just became filthy rich, something that I've always wanted to do for a long time, and again, there's no money in it, but something that always kind of hit home a while back was when my grandma, my mom's mom, wasn't doing well, and, you know, unfortunately we knew that she wasn't going to make it. My mom had to fly out to Alabama, and the prices for airline tickets last minute are outrageous, and I think there needs to be something set up to where you can get last minute emergency, you know, flights. And there's got to be some way that, you know, some type of like charity type thing or something, I don't know, that maybe there is something, but I don't know.
For like special circumstances?
Yeah, something like that, you know,
helps out with the finances?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know how you would kind of
trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
But yes, something like that, where it's literally like a I guess you can call it a charity or something, but, you know.
Some kind of, like, organization.
Yeah, that, you know, like my mom, if she was like, I need to go to Alabama right now, you know, her mom was about to pass away, need to get there. Hey, you could book a flight through this service. It covers the cost, you know, or it covers the in-between cost of what it would normally be, you know, something of that nature. Like if money wasn't, like if I won the lottery, man, I'd love to do that for people, because
I remember when I was in, I think 8th grade, maybe I was in 7th grade, I remember my mom sitting at our dining room table crying on the phone with my aunt at my grandma's funeral because she couldn't afford to fly out there.
Yeah.
At the time, she was a waitress going to school full time and raising, you know,
kids.
Raising 7 kids. So my sister was already grown and moved out and stuff, and so it was like that idea hits home with me just because I'll never forget that day. Like I remember it like it was yesterday, and I felt so bad. Like I was crying in my room because my mom was crying and she couldn't go to her mom's funeral because she couldn't afford the ticket.
Yeah, and you know, I remember, you know, my parents being like, dang, like this ticket's gonna be expensive. And I don't remember if my parents just had to like pay it just to get her there, or actually I think Matt might have drove my mom like over, it's like 13, 14 hours, if I remember correctly, you know, some of that nature. But I just remember and I was young, I mean, I probably would have been like 18 or something, but I just remember my parents being like, wow, like this last minute, you know, thing, that could devastate you, you know, like if you didn't have the money, like you don't plan for things like that to happen, like that, you know, there needs to be something in place that can help people, you know, as far as that goes. Because what if you can't get that flight and you just missed your last chance to say goodbye or something? So I don't know, that'd be something, if I had just bukus of money, I would love to do. I don't know, that'd be something, I guess, cool. I wish that was a thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised that someone hasn't already done something like that. You would think that someone would, but I don't know, maybe there is something like that, I don't know.
Yeah, and then another thing too, it's like, you know, growing up with Jared missing his leg, you know, definitely there's programs out there that help and stuff, but I don't think people realize like how expensive that stuff is. It's like, I'd always tell Jared, man, we could have been driving a nice car if you wouldn't have got your leg cut off, you know. That they're like, you know, $20,000-$30,000 for these legs, like they're, you know, expensive. And it's just weird, like there are programs and, you know, stuff out there that, you know, definitely help pay for that, but, you know, that'd be something that, you know, I don't know, that I'd like to invest in, I guess. You know, just because living in a family where there was someone with an, you know, an amputee, you know, just something your normal family doesn't go through, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like if you're not in that situation, if you're not in a situation, you're not going to think about being in that situation unless, you know, someone brings it to your attention.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, you live your life and you don't really think about stuff like that. Yeah.
That sounds bad, but it's the truth, because if it doesn't happen to you, you really don't think about it.
Not that makes you a bad person or anything, but that's just the way it is, like, you know.
Well, yeah, it's just the reality of it, you know, and I don't know, I just, something like that. Another big thing that I would like to do is, of course, no money in it either, but something for veterans, you know, to help veterans out. And, you know, there's a lot of things out there, you know, I know a lot of veterans, young and old, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of them commit suicide and stuff. It's like they feel like they don't have meaning, and, you know, I think it'd be cool, you know, have a ranch and they can go out there and hunt and get together and, you know, do things. And we know this group from Texas, and they do stuff like that. They try to raise money to get the veterans together, and they'll go on hunts and they'll, you know, hang out and do stuff. And I mean, to me, if I had the money, I'd love to invest in something like that, because I mean, those are, you know, people that truly are putting their life on the line for us. And, you know, especially, you know, us being on YouTube and stuff, we couldn't do this, you know, if it wasn't for the freedom, you know, people like that. And, you know, it's it's crazy to me that they're not better taken care of. So if I had the money and the means, I would definitely I would love to do something. You can't help them all, but even if you could help some, I think that's an awesome thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
Pretty much all my investments brings no money back to me.
I think it'd be cool if I had the money, and I wouldn't make anything off of it, but or if I did put it back into like the thing itself, yeah. But I think it'd be really cool. So, a good friend of mine passed away from ovarian cancer earlier this year, or late last year. No, it was earlier this year. But she did a photo shoot a couple years ago, no hair. She had like turquoise boxing gloves because that's the color for that type of cancer, and like it was very empowering for her. So I think if I were able to kind of like do photo shoots like that for cancer patients, like just for free, and just so that they have that to always, you know, encourage them and empower them, and then also for their families to have, I think that would be something really cool, because it helped her in a way. Of course it didn't, you know,
doesn't cure anything.
Yeah, it didn't cure anything, but it helped her. And we will always have, like, her friends and family will always have those pictures as a reminder of her strength and her journey and her, you know, the battle that she had to go through. Like, I think that would be a really amazing opportunity to be able to do that for people. Even if, say, like, I could just travel and go to you and do stuff like that would be something that I wish that I could do for sure. That would be an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a lot of things, you know, that we wish we could do. One thing that I'm real curious about is you guys that actually have a business. You know, maybe it's a smaller, you know, business that's just starting out, or maybe you've been doing it for a while. You know, maybe you wish you had an investor. What do you do? What type of jobs are you doing or trying to create? You know, I've gotten to know some of you guys who like normal Facebook, and you know, a lot of you I've seen, you know, trying to start, you know, a clothing line, or even just a business that creates clothes, or, you know, I've seen people do like dance studios and, you know, photography and stuff like that. So what do you guys have going on that you wish you can get an investment, you know, in to support you, to help you live your dream out? And if you don't have something, what's your dream? What's something that you guys would like to, you know, be able to do? Or if you had the money, you know, if you had an investor, what's your business plan? What's your dream job that you wish you had? What's your dream, you know, period that you wish you could do if money wasn't an issue?
I would be very interested to hear your guys' thoughts and stuff on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, comment down below and, you know, let us know what you know, what your dreams and passions are. And if you had an investor, or if you're already doing something, you know, let us know. So we'll see you on the next one, guys.
Bye.